There's no one here yet, so I'm talking to myself. Um, I couldn't figure out how to go live on YouTube, eh? I forgot. It's been so long. Right. I'm just gonna try and find myself. Um, don't think any. Mine says live for 30 seconds already. Okay, we're just trying to establish whether I am really live or if I'm talking to me alone. Is it coming up?
Nope.
Oh dear. Mine says live, we saw. Unless I'm gonna have to just go. Is it there?
Mm.
Does it show live on? Okay, it is live. We've established that it's live. And I found myself. Okay. Oh my god, my face is huge on that thing. Let me hold the camera a little bit further away from me because I look enormous. Good morning, Hester. How are you? Let me just check if I can see the comments. I've asked Vishal to moderate for me today. It took me like 5 minutes to actually figure out how to YouTube again. I forgot. It's been so long. I'm so sorry. Let me plug my phone into the holder quickly while we are waiting for people to join us. Right, let's see. I say the more flattering view is from above, but it doesn't, I can't get my thing to go higher than this, so we're going to have to deal with my double chin. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I see we have 10 people in the house. Welcome. This is my edition of the South African National Scrapbook Day. Hello, Wendy. Welcome. So we're having a winter National Scrapbook Day event here in South Africa. So every day for the month of July, they have been giving away notes. I'm doing a live today. What else? These prizes up for grabs. So I will get Wissal to post the link to the, it's 2024 South African National Scrapbook Day, something like that on Facebook. I'm sure you can search it. And there's a class for every day of the week. Unfortunately, it's only for South African residents, but there are prizes up for grabs. And I think you have a month to complete the projects online. And post your pictures. And of course, there's always prizes up for grabs. So we are giving away a Stamperia hamper. I still have to discuss what the value of it is. So I've got two partners that I need to discuss it with. But hi, Judy. Good morning. So as soon as I know, I will post it on the album in the page. And but it definitely will be something nice because you do know Stamperia is our favorite brand. So what are we doing today? I'm faffing. Today I'm going to show you a very quick and easy 6x6 album. The nice thing about this is you can actually do it in any size. So I'm going to, good morning, Yvonne. I'm going to flip my camera so you don't have to look at me the whole time. You can see my desk and we can get going. Right, now to figure out how to flip this thing again. Okay, we got it. My other Mr. Admin has just come in to check up on me. Right. So it's this way, sorry. Right, I apologize for the wobble. Just give me a minute to set myself up so I can... Ooh, you saw my whole big mess up there. Right. Hi, Carol. Okay, I just need to make sure that you can see my whole desk. Let me just adjust this quickly. Right. Vishal, is that good? Oh, I think I can pull it out now. I think my phone is charged enough. This was our placemat we gave to our ladies for this year's NSD. We had the Alice in Wonderland event. Our bookings are open for next year. If you want the link, let me know, and I'm quite happy to post it in the comments. Okay, so this is the little album we're going to be making. It's not going to look exactly like this. This is my favorite way of putting an album together because it's so easy and anyone can do it. This is one I did for the Lady Vagabond. What was a design team I was on. So what I love about this album is it doesn't give you that crocodile effect. It stays nice and closed. And because I've got lots of gaps in between the pages, there's enough space to add lots of flaps, pockets, and all those kinds of things. I'm not going to talk too much about the old albums, but I just want to show you. This was one we did at the, I think it was National Scrapbook Day 2019, just before COVID hit. But look at that. There's quite a lot going on here. There's a belly band, there's pockets, and if you close it, the album still stays together. You don't get that effect. I've also got, this is a basic 12 by 12 one. It's too big for me to show you, but essentially if you look there, it's got lots, oh, it's taking up my whole desk now. There's lots of flaps and pockets inside. So my feed is a bit delayed, eh, Wissal? I see my feed is a bit delayed, but that's okay. And so if you look at this, there's a pocket here. Oops. We've got lots of flaps and stuff going on, but the album remains intact. One thing I have learned over the months making an album, and I'm mentioning it to you because I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes again, and we'll talk a lot about my mistakes that I've made in the past, is I was using just normal glue, and my glue of preference is the Stamperia craft glue. The nice thing about this one is it comes in a tub, so you can use it with a paintbrush as well. But I was just using it randomly, like spreading the glue across the page. But what happens is after a while, the paper starts to warp and buckle, and you get little bubbles like this, which is a bit unsightly. If I turn my my spine, you can see here are the gaps where that happens. So my recommendation from here on out is, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it today, is to use a really good quality double-sided tape. This is what size is this? I think this is a, let me just check. This is about 85 millimeters, so 8.5 centimeters. I have a lot of my tapes cut to size for the different projects that I do, and this is a very good quality one. But what's nice about it also, it tears. So if you just put a ruler to it, it will tear. And that's what I like to use now for my covers, so that I have full coverage of my paper, thus avoiding those bubbles and warps. Okay, so let's get started. I've done enough faffing. Oh, what happened to my bin? So I've already started part of my cover, just to save time, you know, like they do on the cooking shows. They show you how to do everything and they say, voila, all done. So this is my one where I've started, and I left the, oh, what happened to my new scissors? I left the, where? Oh, there's it. I have to use this. This thing is amazing. I left the last cover so I could show you how to do it. I do have a video online. It's one of my very first videos, so be kind when you look at it. It's not great. Where I show you how I assemble this full thing from start to finish. But it's basically the same thing. So what I'm going to do here is what I've already done there, just to save 5 minutes. But I will show you here how I did that part. Need my scissors, and I'm going to sit for this. Right. So I use what I call my bookbinding tape. It is a kind of a fabric. It's very similar to gaffer tape, but it's got a fabric finish. Okay. And what we're going to do is, I just want to make sure I'm in shot there, is hold, and you don't have to do this all in one go. You can do it separately if you want. I just want to make sure I'm in shot because my feed on my device that I'm watching on is slightly delayed. Okay, I'm in shot there, Wissal. Okay, Wissal, my daughter, if you've been to any of our cricket demos, you would have met her. She's being my admin today. So basically, what you need to do is to make sure you kind of center that, and this is a very forgiving process. If you make a mistake, you can pull it back and start over. And then I do the whole thing. I go right around. So we're covering 3 sides here. And all I'm going to do is I hold my finger underneath that tape. Now just watch your fingers. Don't cut your fingers. I already cut my fingers, so I know. And just snip that off. And so we've got that. So let's just see if it's in shot. This new scissors is awesome. Right, we're in shot. Okay. Let me just grab my bone folder quickly. Oh, here it is. So what I do is I take my bone folder and I'm going to, this is something I've learned over every time I make this album, I kind of figure something new out to make it easier for me. So we take our bone folder and we just burnish those edges to make sure that you've got a nice, good connection. It's nicely attached. And what that also does is it kind of gives me a cutting point here at this stage. So it shows me where that little point is, and I'm going to snip into there. I just want to see if I'm in shot. It's so hard, you know, with Facebook. I think the feed is not as delayed as it is here. Okay, so we're going to do that on both sides. Right, and then the one side I'm going to fold down. And we're going to fold down the other side. You can decide which ones you're going to fold down first. It's entirely up to you. There's no right and no wrong here. As long as you get the 3 sides covered. And I'm going to just take my scissors and miter those edges. Okay, and then we're going to fold that down. Okay, burnish your sides well, like so. Burnishing is a very important part of the album making process, because every single page that you add to your album, you need to burnish those folds really well. So I'm just going to cut that down. And so now we've got our spine and our two covers. Now my spine measures 2.5 inches. I work in inches because I find it a whole lot easier than working in centimeters. The numbers are all evenly spaced, and so for me, maths is not my strong point. So I don't know, lots of people say inches are hard, but maths is not my strong point, so the inches work better for me. So my pages, I have 5 pages in my album. Let me just grab them quickly. So the pages measure, just grab my ruler. So our pages measure, let's get the right side here, 6.5 by 6 inches. And that 1/2 inch is this here. So it is this score line. And the reason why we have a 1/2 inch, well, this is my reasoning, why I have a 1/2 inch score line here is, number one, when I create pockets, etc. inside this album, I don't get that crocodile effect. Okay, so this 1/2 inch gives me that ability. For me, this is one of the easiest ways of putting an album together. So I'm going to put my pages to one side quickly, just so we can assemble this cover. So we've got the cover. Where did I put my... I just need to grab my scoreboard. Give me a second. Okay, so my scoreboard fell, and so it's very battered at the moment. I was so sad when that happened, but it's still working. It's just this part that's broken. So what I do is I put my cover into the far corner of the scoreboard, and this gives me the ability to measure where the 1/4 inch gap is for my spine to go. Now it's very important that this 1/4 inch gap is adhered to, because that makes your spine flexible. If you leave a very small gap there, the gap here makes the album cover very tight, and I think that's possibly why a lot of people's, I don't know if that is the case, but that's possibly why a lot of people's albums crocodile. So I leave a 1/4 inch gap. That is basically my rule of thumb. And then I'm going to you can use the margins on your scoreboard to kind of check if you got this in the middle. If it's not smack bang in the center, that's not too bad. It's okay. So we do that. I line it up here so it overlaps the covers. It goes right up there and it overlaps over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it and flip it. Okay. Now I put my, let me just see if I can rotate the camera slightly. I put my roll of tape behind the scoreboard so that this part of the scoreboard actually holds it for me, and I don't have to have 10 hands to do it. So the next thing is we're going to pull this quite tight, and I'm going to press that down and make sure that this is nicely stuck in the middle there. And then we're going to pull this. I use my index finger and I pull this tightly towards me. So this is quite taut. Are there any comments?
There's people saying hello.
Oh, hello everyone. I'm missing the comments.
23.
And then we're going to cut this about a 1/4 inch below the edge. And the reason why I do that, and don't worry if this is not lining up, because you're going to put your pattern paper or extra paper over it. No one's going to see that. Only you see it. So basically, once we've got that done, we've got one side of our cover done. I'm going to flip it because that way we have the join here on both sides on the same side. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can fold this. I prefer to be able to see the full landscape. So when I say full landscape, I mean the whole thing. And then what I do is I try and place something underneath here just to make it a little bit easier. So did I keep anything here with me too? Let's see. Let me just grab something quickly so I can show you. Now everything around me is dry. Can you believe it? Ah, a Perspex block should work. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's enough. So we need to make sure that this gap here is the same as the other gap. Otherwise, when you close your album, the one side is going to be longer than the other. So that's why I either use my scoreboard, which is ideal because it's got this at the top, so you can push that directly up there, or you can use your craft mat, which also has measurements. So that's entirely up to you. But I find the scoreboard method works really nicely for me. So we're going to place that down there again. So it's the same process. Oh, I've gone skew. 1 second. See? Very forgiving process. Okay. Still skew, but it's okay. It's gonna hold. So we're gonna flip. Oh no, it's very skew. My apologies. Let me just do that again. It's very skew. That's the beauty of live. Everybody sees your mistakes. My tape got a little bit tangled there, so I'm just cutting that piece off. Right, let's do that again. Better. Much better. So we're going to flip. Push the tape behind the scoreboard. Bring that down. Pull it tightly. And cut this one about a 1/4 inch below that line. And the only reason why I do that is once you put your pattern paper on, you don't see that join. Okay. And that is your cover done. Isal, is my bin there behind you?
Yes.
Can you just pass it?
You can also turn it around.
Turn what around?
When you're doing that. Flip it out.
Oh, you can flip it, yes. It's a very flexible spine, people. You can flip it both ways. Thanks, Kelly. So once that is done, you can decide whether you want to put pattern paper on here, black paper on here. You can paint the inside of your spine black. Let me just move my scoreboard. You can paint the inside of your spine black. I'm not much fussed about that because I try to layer my pages so that you don't see this. But the option is always there for you to add your pattern paper and stuff. So let's get to the pages. You're going to need your scoreboard. So I have already, to save time, I've done 4 of my pages already. So it's been scored on the 1/2 inch mark and I've got my red tape in here. I only adhere my album pages with red tape. I don't use any other tape, and the reason for that is the normal double-sided tape does not have longevity in terms of how long it lasts. Okay, so red tape for this. And because I work with 1/2 inch measurements, the standard size double-sided tape or red tape is 12 mils. Okay, so that's your 12 mil. This is my 10 mil. And the only reason why, and I have this cut to size. So if you're interested in getting some, you can let me know, or you can check if your local scrapbook store will cut it down to size for you. Oh gosh, this whole thing is unraveling. But for me, this is the perfect measurement for my albums. Right, let's do this.
Kelly says when you're adding the second part of the cover, you could just do it from the.
Oh, you can. I've tried it like that, but the way I figured out the way that works for me. So basically, you guys need to work out which way is more comfortable for you, whether you're right or left-handed. That does play a part as well. So we are going to score the pages, and we do all 5 pages. I said there's only 5 pages in my album. It is 6.5 by 6. So with the 6.5 side measurement facing the top of your scoreboard, you are going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's what your page looks like. Let me move this. You see, the bookbinding tape works for so many things. I fixed my scoreboard with it even. Right, so now you got a dented side. This is the side where you actually scored, and you have a bumpy side. And we're going to apply tape to the dented side. If I can find the start. And so you place the tape right on the edge because we want end-to-end coverage of adhesive. And I use my fingers to guide the tape. So if you do this, there's always the chance that you're going to go skew. So for me, I use my forefinger and my thumb, and I use my thumb, the forefinger, I hope I can explain this well enough. The forefinger holds the tape above the paper so that's not touching, but the thumb presses it down. And this is how I guide my double-sided tape, any adhesive that comes in a roll, and you flip, and we are going to trim that off. Do you see how awesome this new scissors cuts this tape? Really cool. And then, most important, we are going to burnish our tape. This, especially with red tape, is a very important process. I'm pretty sure I burnished these already, but let's just do them again just to make sure. This is a very important process because sometimes if your base that you're working on is very porous and you try to peel back this, the red tape lifts off the project. So burnishing plays a very important role in creating your album. So we burnish. Now we've got our dented side and we got our bumpy side, and the easiest way to fold this back is towards the bumpy side. And we're going to burnish. So that's another important part, burnishing this down, because this allows your pages to lie flat in your album. So if I do this and I do that, you can see, I hope you can, that there's quite a gap here. But when I put this one down next to it, can you see that one's flat and that one's not? I hope you can. But trust me, the burnishing is vital. Okay. How many people are visiting us today, Wissam?
It's fluctuating between 28 and 24.
Okay. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I had like a slight panic attack before the class because I forgot how to go live on YouTube. Oh my word. I'm going to have to edit this video. Right, let's see. That's for me, that's my right side. So I feel like there's a little bump under here. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to investigate quickly. Ah, the tape got folded there, so I'm just going to snip that bump off. I don't want the bump. That's better. So, have you done a waterfall before? If not, let me show you. Waterfall is one of my favorite things to add to an album, and we're going to do one of those today. Did I do one here? Holy moly, I don't think I did. Oh, yes, I did. Always do it. So this is what a waterfall is. It gives you the ability to add several photos to one page. And basically, adding your pages to your album is just like a waterfall. So I'm going to flip my cover this way because I find it easier. And we're going to place the first page in. Now this is quite important, and if you find an easier way, you can always let me know. But we need our pages to sit in the middle of our cover, number one. Number two, it needs to lie exactly on the edge there, because the gap of the spine is just enough for your 5 pages. Okay, so that's quite important. Let me see. I want to see if I have something. Okay, it's gonna work. So this is a toy that my son got as a child, and one day I was busy sorting out toys. I found it and I thought, good job, you can work for me. So that just gives you an indication of where the spine ends. That's for visual purposes, so I don't usually use it, so that you can see where my spine ends, because remember, we have a 1/4 inch gap over there. Next thing, we're going to peel back some of our tape. I never take away the whole thing, and I create a kink in there so that that red tape stays up. And now this is the difficult part when you have a camera stuck in the middle. So I'm going to try my best to do it. I'm going to have to move that. At least you can see more or less where it is now. So I'm eyeballing left and right to make sure that everything is in line. You can look there and there. Doesn't have to be exactly spot on. We are human, but we try our best. And then you just peel back that. Mine has gone a bit skew. And we're going to burnish that there. Okay, so page 1 is in. Same process for page 2. We line it up. I've forgotten how hard it is to actually do stuff with the camera stuck in the middle. And then what you can do is you can bring this page down and check to see whether they are lining up. If it's okay, you can go ahead and comment. So that's 2 pages in. Remember I said the spine is just big enough for the 5 pages. Bring that one down. Check. So I'm gonna have a bit of a gap there because my pages have gone slightly skew, but it's a very forgiving process. It's not too bad. I'm gonna blame it on the camera. Because I normally stick my whole head over this thing. And that's the reason why I don't pull the whole piece of tape off, because you know with red tape, once it's stuck, right? So that little piece you can still pry away. And the last page goes in. I wasn't sure how much time I was supposed to be on for. So, but this will save on my channel. And so if you can't stay for the full duration, you're always welcome to just catch up afterwards. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to say that, you know, in my videos. When I do a video, then I always forget to say, hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, and just like that, your pages are all in. And we just need to manipulate that thing so that it will stay together. It will eventually. You just need some work. And that's it. Your album is done. And so adding flips, flaps, pockets, etc. is not that hard. When you watch, and when I started out making albums and I saw other people's albums with the flaps and the pockets and the things, and I thought to myself, oh my word, how on earth do you do that? That is simply amazing. So I did send out some notes with measurements, but I also, what is this? I also have I've made myself little notes, and I've prepped almost everything. Otherwise, we're not going to finish in a good time. So what I decided to do is to create a stacked pocket right here. And what that means is it's a two-part pocket. So you've got a little pocket here and a little pocket further on. I just want to check if I am going to need... no, I think I can get away without designer paper. Okay, so I made lots of notes for myself because otherwise I'm going to forget. So this thing measures, and let's just double check to make sure that I've got the right measurements on my thing here. So it's 6 7/8, yes, by 2 3/4. What we've done here is we've scored the 3 sides on 1/2 inch. I find using 1/2 inch is a lot easier than figuring out how many centimeters that is. So 1/2 inches work for me. I don't have to remember this thing is a 1/4 inch, that thing is 1/2 inch. We've got 1/2 inch gaps here, we've got 1/2 inch gaps there, so all easy peasy. Now applying tape, I did not apply any tape into the corners there because we're going to cut that away. Okay, so why waste? Now, sometimes when you cut out a corner, let me show you what we want to avoid. I think it's a good learning opportunity. Let me just grab an offcut. Right, so let's just do, this is just an offcut of something that I messed up. So let's just do a score line here, and we swivel or rotate, and we do a score line there. So we've got that piece here. A lot of people make the mistake of, when they're needing to create that fold, look, this is card. If I want to fold this, we're going to have this whole big bulk here, and your pocket's not going to sit nice. So that out the way. So when you cut this, very often people tend to cut too far. Okay, so you see I can't even do it anymore. um, People tend to cut too far into that corner. And that is what happens when you cut too far into the corner. Can you see there? There's a gap. Now, the easiest way for me to explain to you to avoid that gap is when you look at your score lines, there's an inside and an outside part of the score line. Am I in shot there? So we cut on the outside part of the score line from the one side up until the inside part of that top score line. And then all we do is, now the beauty of lives is I'm probably going to screw it up now, but okay, let's see, is we cut across that. And when you fold that, you see that little piece there? We want to avoid that. So I can still take a tiny bit away there. Still. And this is just residue of your paper that's there. I think it's on this side. You get tools and stuff. There we go. That's a lot better. So you get tools that allow you to do it. I must be honest, I bought them and I forget where I put it. So just snipping off tiny bits at a time because I don't want that that hole at the end. Just gonna raise it to my eyes here so I can see what I'm doing. Sorry. Okay, so what we want here is that we want a clean join there. So we're avoiding all the bulk. Okay. Then this, the reason why the measurements is 6 7/8. And I want to show you on the, I do have a, which year did we have that? Let me just check quickly. Man, I had it in my hand. We did a, had it in my hand the other day when I was cleaning the craft room. We did, one of our placemats with the inch, but you can find it online. It's got all the inch descriptions on there. But if you look at, oh, my ruler's a mess. If you look at the ruler, you'll see that it's got solid lines. So those are your 1/4 inch marks. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4 inches in 1 inch. But you get the 1/8 inch, which is the dotted line there. So if I say 6 7/8, so it would be 6 inches plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which ends just before the number 7. So that's your 7/8. So there's 8 1/8 of an inch in an inch. I hope that didn't confuse you even more. Right, so we've got our pocket. You're welcome to give me a shout if you find that that was a big disaster of an explanation. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and center the pocket on our cover like this. And essentially we want it to be even between the two edges there and kind of slightly towards the bottom. It doesn't have to be right on the edge because I like the little bit of a border there, but that's entirely up to you. So the same process for this is I pull off. I'm not sure if I burnished. Let me just do that quickly. So let's burnish this really well. Okay. So once that is burnished, we're going to peel back a small piece there and a small piece there. Right. And this just gives you a little bit of time to figure out where the center point is. I think that's about it. So I hold this down with the one hand, I pull back, and you can commit. And then before I stick down the other one, I pull back part of this one. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a piece here that I can pull. And if I'm happy with that border, I can pull this back and commit and pull that piece back. It's really cold here today, people. The sun is out in Cape Town, but inside my house is freezing. So this one, I've only got tape on the two sides because remember I said this is a stacked pocket. So this one measures 2 3/4 by 6 7/8. So it's the same measurement. But the reason why there's no tape here is because we are going to push this inside here so that it becomes a stacked pocket. What I am going to do is just snip and miter the edges here. So when I fold it, there's a gap over there. So stuff that you stick inside here doesn't get stuck on that top lip. And then this, I'm going to cut out the corner again. I need better lights in my craft room, honestly. Okay, and then I'm going to, let me just see how I'm going to do this. I don't want to take away too much. So I'm going to miter just the edges ever so slightly here. Because we want that to slide into there. Okay, and that is our stacked pocket. So you place that in there. And you just want to make sure that that score line and that score line is kind of meeting up. So I'm going to peel away part of this, same like I did the other side. Oh, it feels like my hands doesn't want to work. It's so cold. Okay, slide your stacked pocket in. Make sure it's even. So now, when you're busy with your pattern paper, you only need a small piece of pattern paper on top there, and you need a piece here and a piece here to cover those two edges. Instead of actually placing a whole big sheet, and then we're covering most of it with our pockets. Okay, so there we learn how to do a stack pocket. I hope it's something new for you guys, that you haven't done something like this before. And if you like this idea, I recommend you check out Miss Kathy King. She's called Paper Phenomenon, and she has some of the most amazing ideas. I've learned a tremendous amount from her. Sorry, I'm just going to grab my notes. I've learned a tremendous amount from her, and she's got stunning tutorials, and I actually think at the moment she's got like a 50% off. So there's some things that's only $5, which is so worth it because she's entertaining and she's really good with what she does. So we've got that. And so I decided my opening page, I made notes, is going to be a plain page. And then, this. So this one I decided is going to be like a flap open. And do I have a sample of it? I think I do. This was an idea that came to me when I was busy with this album for Lady Vagabond. And I only had 12 by 12 paper. So I had to figure out how I wanted to utilize a 12 by 12 sheet in a 6 by 6 album. So this is what I ended up doing. That's the one thing. So I ended up doing this with a flap down so you could actually see the full sheet there. But this is how I introduced a full 12 by 12 in a 6 by 6 album. So you can see these 3/4 of the page. This was an afterthought. So in hindsight, when I look back at making the album, I thought I could have put the other quarter piece here, but by then I had already designed this. So I thought I would show you guys today how we can do this, putting a full 12 by 12 sheet into a 6 by 6 album so that you can still see the whole 12 by 12 sheet and we're not cutting up everything. I actually use the leftovers of that. I think it is. No, I'm not sure. I speak under correction. So let's do that. So this is page 2. Yes, this is the right one. So we're going to add the first flap, and the first flap is cut 6.5 by 6 inches. So we're scoring 1/2 inch. So you're putting it like this into your scoreboard. So it's 6.5 by 6 inches, and the 6.5 side is over there, and we're scoring 1/2 inch there. And I've already applied my tape. I'm just going to burnish it quickly. Okay, and this thing is going to flap up. So it needs to fit perfectly inside here. Let's just see if I can direct this light to my page. Oh, it's really not. The lighting is terrible. Oh, solution. I have a solution. This is my solution. So I put a white sheet underneath there, underneath the page, and this way I can see where the page ends. Sorry guys, I can't see any comments. My admin has left the building. So if I don't know how to do it on my TV because I'm watching it on the television and I don't know how to actually see the comments. So I'm sorry, I'll try and reply to the comments after the live. So this gives me a crisp white edge for the edge of my paper, and this fits nicely inside here. We also want to make sure that it is aligned there and aligned there. Oh, you're still here?
Yes, I'm just getting cold in here. But there's no comment.
Okay. Why are people not commenting? Don't you like it?
Well, they said it was good morning.
Oh, good morning, everyone. If you have any questions, please direct them to us. So Wissal can... Let's give Wissal some work, guys. Let's give Wissal some work. So, make sure all even. And we're going to pull that out and we can commit. Right, so that one is flapping up. And then this one.
Oh no, so she's concentrating.
Who?
No.
Are you concentrating that hard? Good stuff. So, this one is 6.25 by 6. And so here, if you find it comfortable just to score 1/2 inch on every side, it's fine. Just remember that this one flaps open this way. So ideally, we're scoring on 5 3/4. Is it? Or 5 7/8? I think it's 5 7/8. Okay. Just make sure you have a 1/2 inch gap there. So this one is going to fit over here. Am I in shot? I'm just waiting for my feet to catch up. So I'm going to turn this slightly like that. I'm going to put my, so I can get rid of this now. We're done with that. Post-it notes are my friend. post-it notes, and paper clips. So we're going to put this here so that...
Carol says you're doing a fabulous tutorial.
Oh, thank you, Carol.
And Esther says always refreshing to watch you live.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Right. So same principle here. We want to make sure that this is nicely centered. I want to avoid this score line because if we are going to place this over the score line, when we fold this thing back, this page is going to wrinkle over here. So any score line you have has to remain clear of any, what you call this stuff, encumbrances. My words are leaving me. So right next to the score line, make sure it is centered. The white sheet is doing a fabulous job of allowing my eyes to see the edge. And we can commit. So now we've got a flap that flaps open. So ladies, we are having a Stamperia Women's Day event on the 10th of August. So if you don't know by now, Francis of Postnick Gardens, me, Shamela from Kanya Crafts, and Karen Smith from the Scrapbook, we import Stamperia into South Africa. It's one of our main lines that we do. And so we're hosting a Stamperia Women's Day. It's going to be held at Wynberg Girls School in the hall. The cost is 750 Rand. And everything is included in that price. We've tried to keep it really low. So you'll have tea and coffee, light snacks. We'll have a light lunch. And we'll be doing a little mini album, which I'll be teaching. And I'll be using the beautiful, is it Wonderland or Fantasy? I keep forgetting the name. I think it's called Wonderland. Where is it? I started prepping, so I cut up the paper parts of the paper already. We're using the 8x8, yeah, it's Wonderland, but it's that paper range. And then Karen is using the new Lavender by Vicky Papineau. So you can leave a comment, and then I can always put the booking form in the description box, or you can find the Stamperia South Africa sales and new arrivals page on Facebook. I have posted the booking there. So if you look at this now, we've got enough space here to add a 12 by 12. It will have to be cropped, but you will not lose the full beauty of that 12 by 12 sheet. And then, of course, if you wanted to add more flaps and pockets, you can. But we keep trying to keep things a little bit simple today. So we've got page 2 and 3. And what was my other plan for page 2 and 3? Let me see. I do have a belly band here. So I think I was planning to put the belly band there. But I need my pattern paper first, so I am going to just paper clip that. Oh, I wrote there, add after DT paper. So when we get to that page, we'll sort it out. So what I want to show you is, even though there is that little pocket and stuff in, look, the album will find its groove. Once you manipulate it a little bit, it will stay in place. So we've already got that in there, but the album is still, you see, it's not doing that. It stays in place. Okay, so that's 2 and 3. Let's see what I've got planned for 4 and 5. Okay. I've got pocket cut to 6.8. Let's see where my pocket is. What was I going to do here? Okay, figured it out. So we've got 2 flaps. Let's just see what they measure. Ruler. So this one is 6 inches and it's scored on 1/2 inch, and this one is 5 7/8. Now let's just talk about that quickly. Why do I have the page 5 7/8 and not 6 inches? Our pages measure 6 inches, and so if we make this 5 7/8, it's just 1/8 of an inch, which is approximately that much shorter than the actual page, which means I can have a tiny border top and bottom. And so that's going to go there. Let's just do it this way and see. And this one, let's just check this. So this is 5 7/8 by 5 3/4. Oh, I see what I wanted to do. Okay, what's it?
Ria says, hi Shamela, good to see you doing the album. Thank you.
Hi Ria, thank you so much.
Renee says, your demo is amazing. Thank you for all the tips. Never too old to learn new things.
Renee Morris?
Yes.
Hi, thanks Renee, I appreciate it. So I've got one that is slightly shorter than the other one. So the short one is going to go on the right hand side because it's going to flap over, and then you can actually see that there's something here to open up, and the longer one will go on the left. So let's do that. So we shall peel back that slightly. I'm going to turn my album, and unfortunately the paper won't fit under this page, so I can't show you directly with a white sheet underneath, but we right next to that page. Okay, we're not on the edge, we're right next to the edge there. And so when I peel page back, we've got that there. This side I can definitely put the paper underneath. So I'm going to flip this. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I always say to my family that you need to be a little bit nuts to do lives like this, because literally you are speaking to yourself and you're just assuming that everybody out there is enjoying what you're talking about. But so I'm going to fold this one back quickly just to make sure that we are kind of lined up. Right, so this one, same. We want it right on the edge, margins, oops, that side and that side. We're trying to keep it even. And we pull back. So you'll notice that I will burnish everything as I go along. It just makes it easier for my flaps to lie flat. Okay, so that is going to go down first, and then this one will go down second. But in addition to that, I still want to put a pocket in here. Okay, so the pocket measures 6 7/8 by 3.5. Now the 1/2 inch gaps will fold back there. This will fold down, so your pocket will be about 3 inches high. So you can decide if you want your pocket to be half of the page, then your pocket needs to be a little bit longer to accommodate that extra 1/2 inch. Okay, just remember. What I normally do with my pockets and stuff is I first check my offcuts to see how much of which offcuts I have, and that just makes it a bit easier for me. Sorry, the light, I'm struggling to see here. Should have chosen a different color to work with. So that just makes it easier for me to see. What was I talking about now? There we go. I completely lost my train of thought. I apologize. So I just want to make sure that my pocket isn't going to be too big, because it needs to lie. Okay, it's perfectly perfect. It's gonna fit right in the middle there. And so, important step is, especially for this piece, to be burnished, because this is going to be sitting. And I'm going to trim another piece off here quickly, but I avoid that corner, okay, and the side, so that there's no overlapping of these bits here. Right, we want them to sit next to each other like that. Okay, just so that, let's double check. Okay.
Yvonne would like to know, what paper do you use for your pages?
Okay, I have got this I call my black album card or board. I have researched a very long time to find this, and one of the reasons why I love it so much, it reminded me of those old albums that my father had growing up. You remember those ones with the little gold photo corners where you would stick your photos in? And that is what this paper feels like. It's acid and lignin free, so it's good to use for your albums. And the other thing that I recommend, you especially when you're working with darker colors, is a Teflon bone folder. This one, when you fold with this one, you don't get that shiny residue. They are a little bit costly, but if you're using dark colors a lot, and I prefer to work with black as my base, because I feel like every single paper pack out there will match with black, number one. Number two, if I work with inks and I make a smudge, it's not visible. And white for me, oh my gosh, I'm too messy to work with white, to be honest. I have to be so super careful if I work with white. So let's just see if I can line this up. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Did I go skew here? No. So let's commit to that side, and then we can do this side. Okay, so make sure that it's just in line. If you feel that you're not going to be accurate enough to see, I think I've gone a bit skew, but it should be fine. Yeah, I have gone skew. I'm gonna have to just lift this quickly. Now remember, I said red tape is not for giving people, so. Oh, damn it. Red tape is not your friend. So once you've stuck it down, it's stuck for good. Okay. Glue. So this can be fixed. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that makes mistakes. So welcome to the club. And my husband is probably having like a nightmare moment now, saying, oh my God, you made a mistake online. What I'm going to do is, I think my measurements need to come in like by 1/8 of an inch. So let's just show you how I do that. I'm going to use the same piece because literally we are going to cover it with paper, so nobody's going to see. So there we go. It was scored on 6 7/8. I'm going to score it on 6 3/4 now. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and snip a small piece off there because we don't want the bulk, remember. And we're going to fold this back. And then it's just a matter of doing that and reapplying your double-sided tape again. So this is where most people would probably edit the video and say, no one will know that I screwed up, but now everybody knows that I screwed up. So let's do the tape again. Mr. Holt scissor cuts these corners amazingly. Now you see what I do is, because I've got that corner there, this is already mited. Where's my new line? So I'll use it on the mited side. And of course, because I eyeballed this piece, there might be a bit of tape overhang, but not much. Okay, and let's put another piece of tape here. And I'm choosing to use a straight edge on the straight edge because now when I flip this, I can cut that off at the angle. Okay, so take 2 with pocket number 2. That's all lined up. Let's give it a burnish. And let's go back to our album. So yes, I think this measurement works a lot better. So instead of 6 7/8, we're going to score it on 6 3/4. I'll make the change online. Let me just do it on this page here so you can see. So that was, which page are we on now? 2, 3, page 5. Pocket. Did I not include the belly band? Oh, pocket, 6 7/8 there. So let's just change that. So it will be 6 3/4 inches there. Okay, so I think the 6 7/8 is being slightly too tight on there. And if I struggled, I think everybody else might struggle too. So let's just shorten that pocket slightly. Part of the problem is I've got the phone stuck in the middle here. So I can't really stick my head right down. And I'm half blind. I keep complaining about my eyes, but it's pretty bad, eh? Oh, let's just make sure we got that right. Okay. Pocket in. So if I had not fixed that pocket, then this flap was never going to work for us. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So this is going to go this way, that's going to go that way, and it will be optional for you. If you wanted to, you can add a magnet there. What I do is, if I am going to be adding magnets to my pages, I write here magnet, and I write here magnet. Why? Because when I'm putting pattern paper down, I am in such a rush. I just go, go, go. And before you know it, the pattern paper's down and the magnet's not there. And we don't want magnet on top of pattern paper. We want it to be nice. Okay? So I left page 4 blank because I thought, let's just see what we're going to do with the rest of the album. And so I'm going to make a note for myself here. Add something, and I know something is spelled wrong, from extras. So I've got some extra bits of card and stuff. I'm just going to put that there as a reminder for me. So we've got that. And then we're going to go on to page 6. What was my plan for page 6? Let's see. Okay, this is a very simple page. So this comes from, and let me just move the album out of the way so we can see what we're talking about. This is just a 12-inch piece of card. Let me just check if I trimmed anything away from it. So it's 11 3/4. Okay, this was an A4. If you had a 12 by 12, you can use a 12 by 12. I think I use mostly A4 for my flaps and pockets because that's what I have. But if you've got 12 by 12, you must make it work for you. So what I've done was I scored it on 1/2 inch and I scored it on approximately 6 inches. So this score line, I didn't put tape on yet. This score line folds in and this one folds back like that. What I have done is, I see here I created a 1/8 of an inch gap. So it's optional. You can decide to do that if you want to. So it's scored on, let me just fold that back, it might be easier. Yeah, so I folded the 1/2 inch back and I scored it on 4, 5 5/8 and 5 3/4. So let's just show you here, counting. So that's 5 inches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 5/8 and 5 3/4. Small blue line 5/8. Middle one here with a dot is 5 3/4. So that just gives you a bit of a gusset in case you want to add other bulky stuff in here. Then you've got a gusset over there. So tape has to go on there. Let's just put the tape down. And I'm going to, thanks Carol, thanks for popping by. So I'm going to place my tape down. Remember, using your forefinger and your thumb, guide the tape so that you don't go skew. Flip, cut, and burnish. And then let's find our page again. So we've got our album. That's that page. That's our opening flap. So this is page 6. So that's going to go there. Let's put my white sheet back so we can see the end of that page. Hello, Rimcord. How are you? I'm standing so I can see the comments on my phone. It doesn't come up on my big screen, so I don't know why. So let's just line this up. Remember, I'm going to pull this back quickly so I can see the edge. Remember, left and right margins must be nice and even. Top and bottom. Top edge nice and even, left and right more or less the same. And we pull and commit. Okay, so now this is a page. Let's just burnish that. So this page is going to open like that. So you got photo opportunity, photo opportunity, photo opportunity, photo opportunity, photo opportunity. Right, so that is page 6. Then we've got I'm so glad I prepped this up front. Otherwise, we would have been here all day. Page 7. So page 7 has got a flap over here. And then this one. So I'm probably thinking that this was an offcut of mine because I'm very snoop. So if you don't understand what the word snoop means, it means I'm a skinflint. I don't like to waste. So when I'm busy with an album, and you'll see when I do the designer paper on here, that I will keep all my bits and pieces separately so that I can actually try and use them up first. Okay?
Claudine says she loves it.
Thanks, Claudine.
Francis says loves all the tips.
Thank you, Francis.
So, Irmgard and so carols. Natalie says we're just sitting and enjoying.
Which Natalie?
Fernandez.
Oh, hi, Natalie.
And Irmgard said, I almost forgot your live this morning.
Oh, I would have been sad. But you can always catch up. I like to have people join me live so we can chat a little bit. That's why I asked Vishal to keep tabs on the comments. So I'm putting my double-sided tape, my red tape on. And I'm going to burnish it. Can we not see comments on here? Oh, was I supposed to do that? Ah, working?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll see. Vishal and I are both figuring it out as we go. So what I want to do is instead of placing this piece onto the main page, I thought I would just stick it onto here. Just to be different.
Somebody.
Hi! Vishal fixed it for me. Thank you, Vishal.
You're still going to miss it because you're busy there.
No, I'll try to keep tabs. So, oh, I got something stuck in here.
There. It's me. Loving the tutorial.
Hi, Karin. Thank you. It was really cool meeting you yesterday. So I had a bit of a, I don't know what this is, some fluff or something. But all those little fluffs and stuff cause mess in your album, right? So we try and avoid those. Now I feel like I'm part of the live because I can see what people are saying. Okay. If I know I'm going to be a little bit skew on something like for this, I can't see where I'm going to line it up. I put some wet glue on. And hopefully this will give me the chance to change my mind if I need to. So, hold on. I'll just move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. Left and right. I need to avoid the double-sided tape. And I want to make sure that top and bottom is even. Okay, here we go. So that will flap like that now. And then this one, we're going to put onto the page. So that I just decided to do just for something different. You know, the great thing about doing stuff like this is the more you do it, sorry, the more ideas you're going to get. And as long as you understand the basics, I think that's the most important thing. So that's that page. And then this one is going to go like here. So once again, I can't put the paper underneath because it's the edge of the page. Or maybe I can just put a small piece in to show you. Let's see. These are off cut. Okay. So that's the end. It doesn't want to stay there. Okay, hope that helps a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Oh, and I peeled back the whole piece. Brilliant. And now I've got to be accurate and commit. Normally I don't peel back the whole piece. Okay. So this one is going to go like that and that. So why we put down all our flaps first is so that when we put our pattern paper down, we are covering all those flaps so nobody sees where the joins are. Okay. So that is page 7. Then page 8. Like I said, I love doing a waterfall. So I tried my best to make sure that your standard size 10 by 15 centimeter photographs will fit in here. So the waterfall, and that's the only reason why this waterfall measures the size. So it's 5 7/8 by 4 1/4. So 5 7/8, and our standard size photo is 6 inches. So it's going to be a cropped photograph that fits on here. Okay, so you're going to have to crop maybe right and left, but top and bottom, that there's over enough space. Let's just see. Should be, I thought about that. So it's 4 1/4. So the photos are normally 6 by 4. So cropped left and right, and the height of your photograph should be fine. So let's do this. Let's put our white sheet back in here again. And so this is going to, or should, oh, I'm a little bit out here with size. I'm going to have to trim a piece off. Okay. So we're going to have to go with 5 3/4. I tried my best to make it. Yeah. So 5 3/4. Let me grab my trimmer quickly. Oops. Out it comes. So let's amend that measurement as well, so I know. So that is actually 5 3/4 there. Okay, waterfall pages. So I'm going to show you there. It's on 5 7/8. And so we're going to go 5 3/4. With any trimmer, when you're cutting, always make sure that there's always a little bump here at the top. So whether you're cutting from the top down, I prefer to cut from the bottom up. Make sure that this is aligned properly. And with this Mr. Holt's trimmer, it's got a wiggly blade, so you need to push it in towards your cutting line and then cut. This thing cuts really beautifully. So let's just make that one. So push in the blade and pull. There is a learning curve with this one, unfortunately, for people who has never used a trimmer like this. But it's really cool. It's super sharp. And if you do it right, you don't get those furry edges. Oops, there goes my album. So I've got four of those waterfall pieces. I'm just putting my trimmer back quickly. I'm trying to keep things neat and tidy and organized. And pick up my album that fell. So that's I watched a couple of my lives and I was just like, oh my gosh, Shamela, your desk is a disaster. So just get your act together. Right. So let's check again. I actually think I'm going to put my waterfall on this page. You know why? Because there's a lot of bulk here already. So I'm going to shift that. And so let's just make that. I'm going to make this page 9. And I might have to change things around there. But that's fine. So waterfall is going on to page 9. And this is only something that you can figure out while you're actually physically doing it, I'm realizing that there's quite already a lot of bulk here. And so you need to make sure that when you're planning this thing, that you distribute the bulk evenly on your pages. Okay, so there's our margin over here. Let's just point it out. You can see the score line there. That is the edge of our page. So this is going to, we're going to try and center it. So I chose 5 3/4 here now because it's an even number, but you could go into 1/16 of an inch, which I didn't want to complicate things, because 1/16 of an inch falls in between the 7/8 and the next number, and then you would have a bigger photo mat, right? But I don't want to go, because once we go into 1/16 of an inch, it becomes a little bit confusing. So let's just stick to the quarters and the halves. So this works exactly the same way we placed our pages in. Okay. And also remember, this burnishing part is very important because it makes sure that your waterfall actually lies flat. So same thing, we line this up. Am I in shot? Yes, eh? We line that up and we peel back and commit. So oops, I don't want to peel you back yet. So we got that. We're just checking to see that the, oh, it looks like I cut skew here. Hold on. It's not going to work for me. Sorry. Let's check this one. Okay, that's right. So let's see. That's fine. Okay, this caught my eye. I don't know if you can see, it's got skew. But if I put it on here, you should be able to see it's not straight at all. So I'm going to just trim that right. It's going to bug me forever and ever if I leave it like this. So let's just get rid of it. So this one, Mr. Hendricks, if you are watching this by any chance, Shamela needs another light here, please. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna put this here. Check it. So this little edge here is going to be slightly shorter than the rest of them, but I'm going to have to live with that. Okay, can you see? This one is slightly shorter. So we've got that. And then it's optional. You can add a closure here if you want to. This was one of my offcuts. It's a little bit dented. Let me get another piece. So I've got these strips of offcuts, and they must have come from the paper that I used to cut up the flaps and the pockets and stuff with. So let's just show you how to make that. So we've got our little strip, and this can be as wide as you want it to be. I always end up using like a 1.5, 1 3/4 or 2-inch piece, because that's always what I've got left over. Just throw out all this quickly. Let's keep the desk clean. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to put my tape on. Okay, tape on, burnish, and now we can just measure. So once you've got your tape on, you can decide how far you want your closure to go. I'm going to cut it off around about there, and then I'm going to write magnet here, because we would like to have it close nicely, and so the magnet will sit there, and then we'll write magnet on the inside, and I'm just going to trim that down. My baby trimmer. I've got a small trimmer. And then if you want to, you can round those corners, etc. So that's another option that you have. Okay, let's put this in. What did I do with it? Oh yeah, almost thought I lost the album. Manib is looking for his wifey. Okay, white paper so you can see. And so that's just the edge. Now we're gonna eyeball this. So I'm just putting it onto my waterfall and just check right and left, more or less, if we are kind of in the middle. And then we're just gonna go. So the magnet's gonna come there. Okay, it's not perfect. It's okay. I don't like it. Let's just fix it quickly. Oh, Shamela. I just want to get my craft knife. Where did I put it? And there's it. I'm sorry. It's a little bit too off for my liking. And if you've got that undo stuff, I did have, my bottle was empty. So if you do have undo, that's gonna work perfectly. But I don't have any more. Where's the one I had? I kept the bottle so I could go and buy it again. It's called Stuff Off. It works really well, and I think it was like 50 rand or something like that for the bottle. And if you're in Cape Town, I got it at Osmond's in Lansdowne. It's got a nice little tip to it, so, and it dries really quickly, which is good. So that's better. It was out by quite a bit, if you see the residue there. So that was definitely not going to make me happy at all. Now, okay, it will work. I'm just thinking if I messed it up completely. So let's see. I think the mistake I made was working on the page instead of the waterfall. Let's see. I think that looks about center. Yep.
Francis says awesome tip with the magnets. And Gail Naidu says good afternoon.
Hi, Gail.
And
Nice to
Kim
hear from
says
you.
Hi.
Hi, Kim. Which Kim?
Rolandi.
Hello, Kim. Nice to hear from you. Okay, so these are my magnets. They are the thinnest magnets that I can find locally. And it's called Neo something or other magnets. Don't ask me what the name is. It's way too long for me to remember. So what I'm going to do is to just show you quickly how I put my magnets on. Because you do need to put the magnet on underneath your designer paper. Because you don't want it to show, right? So we're going to check more or less. And it needs to be kind of nicely situated. So I'm just putting my finger there. And I'm going to put my magnet around about there. So you peel back that, you place the magnets, and then you put your, now this is the easiest way for me. If you have your own system, please by all means go for it. Do whatever works for you. And then I put my my red tape cover back on, so that this does not stick everywhere. And then you pop that other magnet back onto there. Now we're going to just add a little dot of glue there. And I'm going to lift that, press that down. And that will give me my marking for where the next magnet is going to go. I shall place my double-sided tape there. Press it down. Your magnet is stuck. And we cover it with that red tape again. So now, for me, that is how I align my magnets. Because if you don't align your magnets perfectly, this thing is going to run skew like that. And that's not nice. It looks terrible. Okay, so what was page 9? Flap with angled pocket. So I'm going to do it on this page. So let's see. Where is it? Okay, so I think I'm going to do this on this page here. So let's see, what have we got here? That's the angle pocket. This is the flap. So this is going to go on here. And it's a standard flap like all the other flaps that we did. Measures about, okay, this one measures, it must have been an offcut. So I tried to work with my offcut. So it was approximately 6.5 by 5 7/8. Remember, top and bottom, we're trying to make it fit inside, but if you feel you can accurately meet up the 6-inch marks, then by all means that's perfect. So I'm going to put my tape down. I actually thought I taped all these things up already. I thought I was so prepared. Clearly not. My scissors are sticky now. Okay, so this is our page, and it's going to go on there like that. Let's just get our white sheet again. I think the white sheet just makes it a bit easier to see that join. Am I in shot? I think I am. So I'm lining it up, just checking to see that the margins match, and then we're going to go and stick. And so this is my side pocket. Now, this is, I think it's easy to do, but let me show you how I did it, just so that you know. So essentially, you need a square sheet. So this is 4 1/4. So I'm just going to mark 4 1/4 here quickly. So it depends on the size of your page, and it depends on the size of your pocket or your paper that you have. And this is how I figured my one out. So if, just to give you an idea, but if you've got your own system, then by all means stick to it. So I work, once again, let's go with 1/2 inch because it's easy to remember. So we've got a square piece, we mark on 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then to get that angle, I line up that point. So let's just see if we've got it aligned. So this point here and that point there, we're lining it up on our trimmer. I used my bigger one, but let's hope this is going to now give me the desired effect. Okay, if you've got a very small point here and you're working with one of these trimmers, start in the middle so that you don't get that it normally just bunches up at the bottom here if you start at the bottom tip there. So start in the middle and then work your way up, and you'll avoid that. Okay, so there's our angled pocket. That's how I did mine, just so you know. But where's the real pocket now? Okay, there's the pocket. We're putting our sheet back in here so that I don't mess up. And now we need to add our tape. So we've got a straight edge, and so I start on the straight edge, work my way down to the mitered corner. Comment?
How dinky is that trimmer?
Dinky. I love it. I bought it so long ago and I never used it, and so you know what it is. I've got it. I told you guys at the very beginning, thing for trimmer and scissors. So do not, I cannot divulge how many trimmers I have. That's a secret. Okay, so we've got our goodie gads. Where's my bone folder? Hello. Oh, there. I'm trying so hard to keep my desk clean today, Trying to be good. So let's do this. We're burnishing. And same thing. Okay, my scissors is terribly sticky now, so I'm going to have to go with one of the others. I don't want it to stick too much. So cut, cut, trim. Oh, I got a bit of a hole here, but that's okay. So now, once you've got that, you can see where to trim off these little bits. Right? And it's easier to do it this way than to try and figure it out afterwards. I mean, beforehand. So let's get our page back. And now we can safely place our Sorry. Oh, it is in the right place. We can safely place our... It's not in the right place. There we go. So we can place our pocket in there. Okay, you can do this before or after your pattern paper. I actually think I'm going to put pattern paper down first and then place this in here. Because just imagine trying to join up all those little bits. I could possibly, but why? Why make your life hard? So let's paper clip that in there. And if you think you're going to forget, like I think I'm going to forget, then you say DP first, then pocket. So now when you're assembling and you're working with your designer paper, you made a note for yourself, and so you know what's supposed to happen there. Right. What was my plan here? Okay. My plan here is a side pocket. So you can decide if you want to do it on this page or on this page. I feel like the cover has got nothing going on, so let's do it there. And then this is a little photo insert, so that fits in like that. And it was just an offcut. I made enough space for a cropped standard size photo. So we got a 5.5 by 4, just under 4 1/4 piece. And so you can either do a landscape or a portrait photo, and then you can add pattern paper there. So this slides into the pocket and you'll see your pattern paper. Or how big is this? You can add 2 2x2 photographs. So if you add 2 2x2 photographs or 2.5 by 2.5 photographs, and I'll show you that, you can just put a piece of pattern paper down the middle and you've got a beautiful embellishment there. So let's put this down. That needs a bit of a trim over there. Okay. You have no idea how many lights I've got on here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lights on, and they're still not enough. So I'm centering my pocket. If you want your pocket to go from end to end, then you can possibly make your pocket like a 1/4 inch bigger. I'm going to peel both back, because if I do this and that, then they are all even. Okay, so what I'm going to do here quickly is to cut 2 2x2 pieces, and just to show you what it would look like with your photo on, etc. These are inches on there, yes. So let's just do that. So the idea of adding different size photos to your album, that gives it, we can maybe, okay, let's stick with 2x2. I think 2x2 is a standard, like a passport photo, right? Is it? I don't know. Maybe we can check. I think a passport photo looks more or less like that size. Maybe a bit smaller. I'm just eyeballing the size now. Just eyeballing it. Okay, so for example, oh, that is so skewed. Let's just fix that. For example, say these were my two photos that's going to go here. You place down your photographs first. I'm going to just use this is just normal double-sided tape, and what I do is I just stick it on my clothes a couple of times. So I take most of the sticky off. So if you want to peel it back and put your photo on, you can. So these are just some, oh, this is not the same size, but okay. You get the idea. Okay, so if that is your photos, then you can put a piece of pattern paper there. If you're going to go with a long photo, you can even go like that. So you can, oh, you can actually do a fairly biggish one as well. Let's just measure that. So that is, so you can go with a 2.5 by 2.5 photo. And you can have two next to each other, which means you're just going to need a small piece of designer paper in the middle there. And then of course you can do the same there and the same there and the same there. So there's two fairly biggish photos and 4 smaller pictures on that one little flap over there. Right, so essentially the construction of our album is done, and like I said, this will take its shape as you work with it and as you add your designer paper and stuff to it. We were supposed to do something to page 4 if I remember correctly, but let's see what I've got here in terms of inserts. So that was one insert that I showed you. Then this is another one. So it's very simple, just a piece of cardstock, and this one measures 5 inches. You can cut it to size to fit your photos. So when you're doing your inserts, you can have your photographs handy and say, okay, I want to add these photos to this insert, so the insert needs to be this size. Go to your scraps first. That's what I do. I go to my scrap pieces, I see which ones I can salvage to create photo inserts and photo mats. Okay, we're not cutting into a big 12 by 12 or A4 size every single time. This one was just scored smack bang in the middle. So if I show you, let me see if I got something that I can cut a 6 by 12 with. Just to give you an idea. Oh, 6 by 4, sorry. So 6 by 4. So this is a standard size photograph. 6 by 4. Okay, my offcut was slightly too small, but you get my idea. So the 6 by 4, if you've got your photograph there, you can add pattern paper here. This was my idea. And so if you add, so you can put your photo at the bottom, add pattern paper at the top, put your photo at the top, add pattern paper at the bottom. That already creates interest, and you can either do the same here, or you can put multiple photographs on here. This will slide into one of our pockets. Then we've got another idea here. So this one is 11.5 by 5 3/4. I made it 5 3/4 so that it could slip into one of the pockets or the belly bands or something. So let's test my theory and see if it's going to work. Do I have... It's not going to fit in that one. See, this one fits in here. Oh, it needs to be slightly shorter. Because the idea is not to have stuff sticking out of your... Let me just say, it could be getting stuck on something. To get, the idea is not to let things stand out. I'd made the mistake of doing stuff like that in the past. And what was not too bad, this one. Oh, there it went in. And the moment there are things sticking out through the top of your album, it gets messed up. It gets wrinkly, it goes ugly, and then your album looks crappy. So, where did I put it? So, it did fit in there. It was just stuck on something inside. So, there's that. And then let's just see. It fits in there as well. It will fit in your top pocket too. And this pocket goes right down. So, it will fit in there. Photo mats. This comes from my extras. So you can plug multiple photo mats into here. You can add small photographs here. You can add designer paper there. So those are all ideas for you. Then this one can possibly fit inside. Let's see if it will. Where's our side pocket? What's going on here? Side pocket there. I don't know if it will fit. Let's see. It should fit inside there. So once that is in, it should fit inside there. So you're gonna have to play around with your photo insert. But these little photo inserts makes it possible for you to add a whole lot more photographs to a standard 5-page album. Okay. Right. I don't know if you guys want to carry on because I've got the papers that I was hoping to use. Maybe I'll just cut it up with you and I might not necessarily glue everything down. So for this album, I saw the Blue Land collection and I started cutting out a lot of the bits and pieces. But what I also wanted to share with you today was that Stamperia's papers, even though they come from 2 different ranges, a lot of their papers can actually work together because they use the same color palette. So this is the Blue Land paper. Let me share it with you so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Beautiful paper. This is the one I cut up. So as you can see here already, we've got such lovely postcards. And so you can put 2x2 photographs on there. You can do art journal. You can journal your story of your photographs on the back. And the front you can just use as is. These you can even chop up and use them in your smaller tuck spots. I made some notes for myself to see if I can pre-plan what I wanted to do. I was going to use the window for the cover. These are pocket inserts. Absolutely stunning. If I see script, my knees go weak. So that for me, look at all the lovely script in here. It's just gorgeous, this paper. Lovely postcard back. This is the page that I thought I would use for the full 12x12 sheet. I might change my mind. I don't know. Then this is the part I thought I was going to use for the cover because this really spoke to me loud and clear. So lots of stunning paper in this pack. Look at this one. Beautiful stripes. If you added this to a page, you could cut into that and distress it. That's what I love to do. And then use it as a tuck spot as well. So there's lots of options here. I did not plan ahead with this. I did think that I could use this for the stack pocket. And this for the layer on the stack pocket. But who knows? This is absolutely beautiful. These flowers here to actually cut into it and use it as a tuck spot on a page. Is there another page? Yes. Backgrounds. I always love the backgrounds. And one of the reasons why I thought that the journal collection would work with this is because the colors were very similar. The base colors. Because sometimes when you have a beautiful paper pack like this, you like both sides, but you can't always use both sides because you need to maybe utilize the one side and then you can't see the other side. So I thought, look how gorgeous is this. This is one of the older collections. This page, look how gorgeous. Look here, a beautiful word that says treasure, and you could just cut that out and use it as a tuck spot. You can put a stunning photograph inside treasure that has a special meaning for you. So let's see. Clocks, always a favorite of mine. So, oh, this piece talks to me with great detail. I love that. I would probably distress that whole piece down there. So, when I, oh, same here. Oh, so when I look at paper, I try to follow the paper. Look, absolutely stunning page. This one is just perfect to place your photographs on, because even if you place your photographs on here, all the detail is around the edges and you won't miss anything. Oh my word. That is a Shamela page, people. That is a Shamela page. So, oh, look at this one. And this one. A smile costs nothing but gives much. Gorgeous. That little quote, happiness. And then we've got such lovely words here. Perfect day, forever, treasure. I think this is such a versatile little paper pack. And even if you look at this page here, if you had to just create a tuck spot here, you can stick a photograph, a photo mat inside there. You can make one inside there. What I do because Stamperia papers are 190 grams, so they're not super thick. So if I do tuck spots like that, I actually reinforce them with either craft or black cardstock, so that when you're putting things in and out of those tuck spots, this is not going to curl and damage. Okay, so let's start cutting our paper. I'm going to get rid of all my extra stuff that I don't need right now. Trust me to drop there. So let's get the cover open. So our cover is 6, I think it's 6.5 by 6.5. Let's double check the measurement. Oh, it's 6.25 by 6.25. So if I cut my paper down to 6 by 6, it's going to give me a beautiful little 1/4 inch gap around all sides. Optional for you. If you want a shorter gap, you cut your paper bigger. If you want a bigger gap, you cut paper smaller. Yep.
Yvonne says, Shamela, your projects are always amazing. Thank you for your unselfish time and tips. Much appreciated.
Oh, you're welcome, Yvonne. Which Yvonne is that? Punesami, I think. I hope I said your surname correctly. I'm saying it from memory. I can't remember. Okay. Where was that sheet that I wanted for the cover? I think the reason why I wanted this piece for the cover, so let's tell you the code of this paper pack is SBBL 47. So it's not the newest of the new range. It was a relaunch, but still absolutely gorgeous. Why I love this paper? This is what spoke to me, this little patchwork piece here. So I don't know if it's going to work, if my idea is going to work, but let's see anyway. Let's stick to my plan. So where is that? Is the 6-inch mark over here. So I'm going to see, where does 6 by 6 leave me? Okay, that's okay. I can live with that. But see, even after we cut this page up, there's a brilliant piece. You can just tuck spot that and add a photograph there, and then you've got little bits here to put anything in. So I love Stamperia paper because there's always so much going on. The nice part about this album is you can lay it flat down like that, and it's really easy to work with. So look at that. I think that looks really nice. Let's do some distressing. The Stamperia ceramic pen. If you have not tried it out yet, people, check out my other video that I did now the other day on my YouTube channel. It shows you how I used it. It cuts brilliantly. It even cuts our own very own Celebrate paper with ease. I had a client here the other day and she said, will it cut Celebrate paper? And I said, let's try. So only thing is, when you're new to it, you need to find that cutting point on the pen. But once you have it, you will see that it works like a dream. Voila! Cut. So amazing. And I think because it sticks, it's shaped like a pen, let's put it that way. I think that is why it is so easy to use. And when I cut with this thing, I turn my project rather than turning my hand, because it just gives me an extra bit of, here we go, oh my gosh. And so I do things in threes. Let me find another spot to cut. I think it's going to be here. It is going to be there. Right. Your scissors. Let's distress. Now, of course, this is something that I like to do. If you're thinking to yourself right now, oh my word, what is she doing? She's ruining that perfectly good piece of paper. Don't do it. Just stick yours down. Choose another piece if you don't like my one. Make your project your own. I'm just here to facilitate the process, to give you ideas, to tell you what I've done that didn't work, and to tell you what I've done that does work. So, you know, at the end of the day, we all need to find our own speciality, our own little thing that increases our creative juices. And for me, that is distressing. If I am stuck with paper, if I am stuck with a project and I feel like my mojo has gone completely out of the window, I distress the edge of the paper. I just distress it, and that kind of thing. Ooh, then another idea comes, and another idea comes. So the other thing is, when they say the more you create, the more ideas you get, that's absolutely true. It's the same for everything. For me, at my age, any computer program I use, if I didn't use it for a while, oh my word, I'm going to have to go back to basics and try and figure out what I did, how I did this, and etc. YouTube is my best friend ever. So, practice. They say your brain is a muscle, you need to train it. So, that's what we need to do, people, is make more. Right, let me make sure if I'm on my cover. Yes. Because trust me, I will stick this upside down and my book will be back to front. How cool. I'm loving that. Oh gosh. So we will distress the edges as well. You get like really awesome distress tools, and I've got lots of them. Like this one. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore, so I really hesitate to use it online because so many people have asked me about it. And this was a Prima product from a good few years ago. And of course, I was at Anna's class, Finnebar's class, and she took out her one and she used it. Auntie Nabi and I were at the event, and we're like, you know how it is. When you see something and you need it and you want it and you've got to have it, it's like, can I have one of that, please? So up jumps Auntie Nabi, fetches it for the two of us. Do you want one? Yes, please. And off we go. So you needed to get it before everybody else took one. Otherwise, there's no more left and then you feel left out. You know that story, right? Not sorry I bought it though. It wasn't cheap. I think back in the day we paid over 200 rand for it. But I've used it so many times. I think I got my 200 rands worth. Okay, so we got our edge distressed. I think I wanted more distressed. And so that is the beginnings of my cover. I want this a little bit more distressed here, because I kind of want the paper to start peeling back. And sometimes that can be useful, because if the back of your paper has got something different, you can see it. See, like that. And this is where I always love to add my little Stamperia Glamour sparkles. It's such an awesome product. It's their version of glitter, but it's made from glass. So it's environmentally friendly. And I'm a glitter girl. I love adding glitter to everything. So that's my thing. Right. So that is where I'm at with my cover. I'm going to add the coffee dye ink from Stamperia. I love this color. And if you've got the Tim Holtz, his latest color, what's it called? Scorched Timber. I think it's very similar, because what it does is it gives you like that burnt woody kind of effect on the edge. And I love that look. So brown is definitely one of my favorites. My favorite colors to use. I think it's universal. So if you don't have a brown pad, doesn't matter which brand, Stamperia, Tim Holtz, Archival, you must just know your inks and know what all the inks does, because there's lots of different inks on the market. And I think a lot of times we run out and buy things and we already have something in our stash similar that can do the same job. You learn that the hard way. Always welcome to give us a shout. We are here to assist. If you've got any questions, you can ask anyone. I'm super helpful. Okay, then I'm going to use a little dauber to do the inside. And what I do is I put my fingers inside and I kind of separate the pages. And I know I watched Kathy the other day and she said she does it from behind. Oh, that's also a good idea. So, I told you Kathy King from Paper Phenomenon got amazing ideas. So, I just want this dark edge to be on my my distressed edges, because now it looks like it's been through the mill. Looks like somebody took a match and scorched it. Cool. So if I hold the one piece down with my other finger, it's amazing how you find ways to use all your fingers, eh? crafting, telling you, is the best exercise ever. Look at that. Makes a huge difference, I tell you. What is the time? It's 1 o'clock, guys. It's 1 o'clock. How long have I been on? 11:30, 12:30, 2.5 hours. Okay. I think I might actually break this up. So if you guys are not doing anything, I'll have lunch. Or maybe tomorrow sometime I'll come back and finish the... I know you got something else on tomorrow, but the YouTube video will always be here. So you can catch up at your leisure. I will share the links on the 2024 NSD page as well, so you can catch a live. And remember, there's a prize up for grabs. So if you make your own album, and you do not have to make it exactly like mine, my rules are fairly flexible. You can do any size you want to. If you find a 6x6 is too small for you, just scale up the measurements. You can do an A4. You can do any size as long as you post it in class number 5. And I think you have until the end of July or August. I speak under correction. I apologize. So I'm not going to glue this down yet. Why? I'm waiting for offcuts. I'm waiting for offcuts that I can possibly put underneath there, because I'm not going to... Hello, Shamela's never going to stick a whole piece of 6x6 sheet under here just to make sure that that is hidden. It's too much. I will wait until I'm done with my layering and my photo mats and my pages, and offcuts that I have will go behind these places, these spots, so that we can have something behind it. So let me just show you. For example, that's a good example. Oh, even this one. So if I put this on here, it's not really super visible, but you can see that there's something behind it. Even this, you know. So I will choose things like maybe some script. Something that looks like an old... Oh, that works for me. Something that looks like an old wallpaper from back in the day. Even that. Oh, some script. So we shall see which bits of offcuts we have left over. And that is what I will use for you. I am not going to cut up a whole sheet of paper for this. Right? So Mr. Paperclip, my best friend in the world, is going to go there. Right. I am also not going to cut up paper for this and this, because I'm 100% sure out of my bits and pieces, I'm going to have enough paper to fill in those gaps there. This one, I might take one of these pieces. Oh, that's actually quite a nice one. Or that one. It's hard when you like both sides, isn't it? Like, I mean, I'm thinking of this because over here, we can cut into those pages and create tuck spots. But likewise, on this side, that can work for this too. So what I need to do is, because I like things to be cohesive and they must match, so I will wait for this page until I have finally decided what I'm going to put here, and then try and make them look similar. Okay, does that make sense? Same with the belly band. Where is that page? This one. Let's do this one, so we can see how that little whole flap thing will work. It's not going to be precise. Look, it's never going to be perfect, because this side is a little bit longer than that side. And what I could have done, oh man, I could have added a flap here that flaps up. No, let's not get complicated. Let's just stick to what we're going to do. So I did mark off a page I think it was this one. Yeah, let's go with this. Why not? I thought when I was paging through the book that this was going to work. So let's see what my plan was. So okay, now the first one we're going to do is this and this, because that will use, let me just move my belly band out of the way and get my white sheet again, because it fell on the floor. So there's my white sheet. Let's just get another piece of white to put in here so we can see what's going on. So as you can see, this piece is going to fit beautifully across here. I'm thinking now, do I want to lose that? That's the plain. Hold on, I don't think I'm so happy with that one. Let's find something else. I wanted to use the window for the front cover also, so not that one. See what I mean? Decisions. Oh, maybe this one. I'm pulling this page out so we can see. Let's see how that one will look. So I was going to use this for the stacked pocket. But now while I was busy working, I changed my mind. So it's a woman's prerogative, isn't it? Okay. I think I'm rather going to go with this page. What do you guys say? Where's the comments? Do you love this one better? So I'm just going to measure my page. I think it's 16 inches. Yes. No, this one. We're going to measure with the biggest sheet, right? So that is 6 and that's 6. So I'm going to cut down to 6 inches. Why am I talking centimeters all of a sudden? Let's do this. So that is our 6-inch mark. I'm cringing, cutting through the beautiful flowers. And then we're gonna cut it down to, let me double check that measurement first before I go willy-nilly and cut. Also 6. Great. So that is 6, and I'm gonna cut it 5 7/8. I hope I didn't balls up now. Cool. So now, best method ever for me is my pencil method. So I don't want to lose the flower, and so I'm going to just mark this. I think, in my opinion, I think the eye needs a bit of a gap. So I'm going to leave a tiny gap there. And I'm looking at the margins here. I'm looking at the margins there because the fold line is up there. So I'm going to trim a smidge there and a smidge here. Okay. Regrettably, let me do this one first, otherwise I'm going to lose my mark. Make sure that everything is lined up at the top and cut. And then we're going to do a tiny piece on that side. Okay. Let us see. Perfect. I'm happy with that. So let's put Mr. Paperclip in. Remember I told you guys, I don't put anything down permanently until I am 100% happy. Now, that is where that score line is over there. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to cut like a tiny piece to fit in there. So, that's 1/2 inch. And sometimes the best thing to do with those tiny measurements is to use your, let me just move this out of the way, because I want the pattern to continue. I want that continuous flow. So let me just move all this out of the way for 1 second. My ruler. So this is, yeah, that's how the paper goes. Definitely, let me check. Yes. Okay, so we need, that gap is, so this is why Tim Holt's ruler is so incredible. That gap is 1/2 inch. So if I, let me just think, my left right brain doesn't want to operate now. So if I hold, his ruler has got these markings on, you see? Let me see if I can put something underneath. No. See, it's got these tiny dash marks and it's got solid lines. So that's the full inch with a very bold line. Those are your 1/8 inch marks with a dash, and the lighter black lines are your 1/4 inch marks. So I know I want to take off. Oh, let me do it like this. Now I need the cutting side. Hey, Shamela, make up your mind. So I need my gap is 1/2 inch on that piece. So I need to just trim that down so that we have I think that is straight. I think I'm just going to put a pencil line there. Oh, I wonder how this will cut it. I'm right-handed, so let me flip it. Yes. Let me flip it and do it this way. My brain finally kicked in. Here goes nothing. Oh, I got the wrong end of the cutting point now. Not enough pressure. So I can just use my trimmer now. I've got such a big craft room here, and yet not enough table space. How do we always end up just with that tiny piece of workspace? I even got stuff on my chair now. Just want to make sure I've got this lined up correctly, because I don't want to cut skew. On the cutting knife. This is the only learning curve I found with the Tim Holtz thing, is figuring out where that cutting line is. Okay, let's get the album back. So that is supposed to fit in there, and I am, remember we trimmed off the bottom there, right? So we need to trim off the bottom here as well. And so I'm just going to cut that with the scissors. I've gone skew, but it's fine. Once you inked it up, nobody's going to see. Okay, so that is going to go there. And then we've got this piece. As you can see, it fits perfectly, except that we need to adjust the bottom slightly. Pencil method. Pencil. I don't know how many pencils fall around here. There's one on the floor. Right, so we've got that piece. We've got that piece. And then we're going to trim that down there. Can my dinky trimmer do it? I wonder. Yep. So remember when I said when you're cutting thinner paper, start in the middle and work your way top and bottom. So there we go. So that has been set up. Paper clips. So we're going to put our paper clips down. And that one. And then this one, I will just stick in one of these to make sure that it doesn't get lost. Even this way. Right. Now we need to do the two top pieces. So this is the paper here. Let me clear my desk again, man. Right. So remember the pattern has to continue, and this one is slightly thinner than this one here, which means in turn that we've got to trim off the right side here. Right. So, and this gap here, remember we didn't glue this down yet, so must have top and bottom even gap, top and bottom even gap, and make sure that that flower flows in there. So here we are going to trim it off approximately there. Here we are going to trim it approximately there. And the top, okay, I'll do the top after. So let's trim that side and that side. So it is the big fat mark. Can you see I almost cut skew? I didn't have it lined up at the top. Remember, this is vital, otherwise this is not going to cut straight. So we got that cut. Remember, this piece goes on the outside, and then I have to trim off that little piece on the right. We bring our album back and we line it up to make sure that it's in order. So you see, flower is going nicely. And then we can trim off our little piece at the top there. So let's do that. This is where the planning really comes in, to use your pattern paper to its fullest capacity, right? We don't want to waste any paper. We're paying lots of money for those sheets. And if I have a little piece like this that I think I could fit in somewhere, I keep it. Where's my other bit here? So these all come from that sheet, right? Let's get the album back. So when people ask you to make an album, they have no clue how much time, effort, and work goes into the thought process of actually making one. So I feel like I need another bit coming off on the side there. Just gonna do it. I'm just gonna eyeball that piece off. Let's see now, that piece I'm going to chuck. Okay, there we go. So that piece is going to go there, and then the last piece is where, what's going, oh, that's my cover sticking out there. The last piece is going to go in here. And so Mr. Pencil method is going to be our best bet here. What we need to do is make sure that this lines up as much as possible, but we also need to make sure that the gap there isn't too awful. So I think the eye will definitely recognize that it was one full sheet at one point. So we're going to go there, and we're going to trim here. And this piece that we're cutting off here can easily fit inside one of these gaps here. So don't throw it away, keep it, or in between two photographs. The matting, I think, is quite important when it comes to your pages. And why do you want to put pattern paper down if you are going to put photos in your album? Why? We are going to cover that. Did I cut on the right spot? No, I think so. I hope I didn't miss. I hope I didn't mess it up. Let's see. That is good enough. Have I run out of paper cups? Okay. Okay, so let's look at this. That we've got our piece that goes down the middle, and we're still going to distress everything. So this is how this is going to work. Come on, what's going on here now? Oh, it's getting stuck there. Okay, so that is going to close like that. This is going to come down, and that is going to close like that. So let's see, page 1, page 2, page 3, oops, page 4 and 5. I love it. I love this paper. It is absolutely gorgeous. And then of course here we can, now I'm not going to put any pattern paper here. Here you can put your photograph and then add your pattern paper. Okay, so that is entirely up to you. Same with this. Having said that though, if you feel you want something to match this to go over there, then by all means. Right. Is there anything else that I think we need to do? Okay. The other thing is the waterfall that I think might be a good thing for us to might be a good thing for us to follow on. So what I normally do is I try to find a piece oh, this doesn't look right here at all. It's so skew. I'm taking it off. I am taking that off. Why didn't I see the skewness before? Just rolling back the tape. Sorry guys, that is not going to work for me, so I will do that again. So what I can do is, look, we can do this. I think I lost my tape covering for that thing. I'm just going to put this one over. I don't want my paper to stick to it. So at the bottom here, where's my photo mat? There's my photo mat, right? So we got, is this the right size? Anyway, make believe that's my photo mat. It's going to come under there. So we can do the full piece here and then strip this so that we have continuation of the paper. So I will start from the bottom, and so we can, pencil method again, once again, is going to be your best friend here. So if we put this down here, let me just make sure I'm in shot here. If we put this down here, these are going to be tiny little strips. And when you're doing this, don't be like me. I did a live with the Donies one day, and I did not take note of my strips, and putting them together was a complete and absolute nightmare. So this one, we're going to trim it round about there. Okay, so I'm going to do that one first, and then I'm going to pin it on. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my train of thought. So let us, okay, I'm going to cut it this way. It's easier because the bigger piece of card is on my left. Right. Come on. Okay, so that is the paper there, and so this is going to go there. I haven't made up my mind where I'm going to cut, whether I'm going to cut on the right or the left yet. So I'm not going to cut off anything. I'm just going to clip it onto there. Right? Now remember, I trimmed this one a little bit smaller, but your one should be all even. So we're going to do the next piece. And I think, oh, Wisal is yawning. She's probably bored to death. I hope you guys are not bored. So we're going to do the next piece. And make sure everything is lined up and it's straight. Cut. And the only reason why I'm doing them one by one now is so that I don't get confused here, right? Because if I cut it all in one go, when you make mistakes live online, you've got to learn from them. So I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot once again. So we got that one. Let me put this paper clip in this way. Otherwise, I'm going to get confused and lost. Right? So next one. This one will be slightly bigger. Remember, because the other one was smaller. And normally when it's all the same size, then I just cut all of them in one go. But I figured let's make it understandable for people who... I tell people when I do a tutorial, I come from the basis, or my starting point is that no one knows anything. So we always have to cater for those who have never done things like this before. And so even when I teach any class, I start from a thought process of this person has never done this before. Let us start. Oops, I almost cut the wrong size there. The wrong side. Let us start from bare basics so that everybody has a complete understanding of where I'm going, what I'm thinking, and why. So if you have any questions, you are welcome to let me know. Also, I'm trying to increase my input or my YouTube content. It's been stagnant for a whole year. I haven't done anything. So if you guys have anything that you want me to do and I'm able to do it, let me know. I will be happy to try and oblige. I must be honest, my preference is alive, for the simple reason that I do not have to edit that video. My life is pretty hectic. I do run a shop from home. I work alone. I don't have anyone helping me. So why does this look so skew? I don't have anyone helping me. So basically, I know sometimes I take long to get back to people, but that's because I'm busy with other stuff. But I try my best to get back to you as soon as possible, even if it's the evening when I'm in bed. Okay. This line looks okay. I don't know if it's my eyes now or what. I'll figure that out when I attach. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to, oh, I actually like this stepping like this. So I'm going to trim on that edge. But I'm not going to bore you with my trimming process. I'm going to put that in there. So this is basically what your waterfall is going to look like. And so you can put your photographs on the underside. And if it fills up the whole page, great. You don't need any pattern paper. But like I said, if you're going to add small pieces when you have photographs on here and it didn't cover that little bit, these little strips that you have will add interest to your page. And remember, you don't have to do this, but why waste this? You paid good money for it, so make use of it. Put it inside. That's why I don't throw anything away. If you look at all my projects, I've got a little bag with everything that I have left over in there, because you never know. You can make a card with it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just pulling all this to the left, to the right, sorry, so that I don't squish it up when I close the album. So that's the waterfall, how you would do the waterfall. Let's just see so that none of this is going to bend and buckle when I close. Then the last thing I would like to show you is this. How do we mat, or how do we mat this? How would you mat this? So you can decide whether you want to use it on the right or on the left of your page, because it's an even thing. I prefer mine on the right. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm right-handed. I have no idea. But let's put it down there. Now, because I haven't put any paper down there, I'm not sure. I am not sure. This is going to be a toughie for me. You know why? Because I like my papers to flow. So let me find something that's going to work in there. Maybe I'll just go plain, like with the cover. Maybe. Let me see. What else do we have? Oh, I like that. I think I'm going to go with that one. Okay. I think I'm going to go with that one. So basically, what we are going to do is, so I'm just going to trim this down to 6 by 6 so it's easier, so that it's a smaller piece of card to work with. Oh, this is so nice. I love this flowers in here. Oh, gorgeous. Actually, I'm going to do 5 7/8, not 6, because my page is 6. And I'm going to choose that side. And 5 7/8. So I hope I'm not making a big mess up here. Because like they say, this is ad lib. Okay. I could have gone a bit smaller. Okay, so this is going to go here. Right, so that needs to go in there. I'm going to mark this with a pencil. There. Oops, I'm a little bit out of shot, sorry. So I'm marking this with a pencil over there, just so I can trim that piece off, right? I'm figuring this as I go along, so be kind. Because I haven't done one of these in ages, so I'm just going with my gut here. Right. I need my cutting mat again. So this is the piece that we are going to be using. But I love my little borders around the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sorry, I'm going to take my ruler, and let's see, how did I do it earlier? How did I measure earlier? Like this. And I'm going to literally take 1/8 of an inch off the 4 sides. So this is my Cricut craft knife. It's also shaped like a pen. Oh, it's already cut through. It is really cool. I love this thing. And so for straight cuts, I find that actually works really well. So I've taken, honestly, I hope my train of thought is right here. Eh? Please forgive me if this is going to go all cockeyed. Right, let's see. Oh, yes, perfection. So, 1/8 of an inch off the square part. Now, one of the reasons, so let me explain to you why I did it like that. It's so much easier to take a piece off a straight line than off a skew line. Believe me. So we take a piece off the 2 straight sides and absolutely perfect placement. Thank you, my brain. Right. So now let's put this down here, because we've got our leftover piece, which I love because it's got those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bits. Honestly, I've got to take it off. And where's my white sheet now so you can see what I'm doing? I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared into nowhere. So that's going to be our pocket. And one of the reasons why we don't double up with designer paper is that we don't want too much bulk. Remember, your photographs are also going to add bulk to your page, right? So we don't want too much bulk happening all over the place. I need that to go in there. Okay, I hope you can see the edge now. So this same principle here is because we've got this skew line running, it is a lot easier to take away from our straight edges. So let me just take first 1/8 of an inch off and see if it fits. If it doesn't, I can always come back and take another small piece off. But if I cut off too much in one go and it's gone, okay, you can fix it. I mean, I've done that before, but why? Okay, there's that piece gone. Flip. So this ruler is really cool. It makes your life simple, and it's got a metal edge here. So when you're cutting, you're not cutting into your ruler. You're actually just cutting into the metal edge. Okay, test. I don't like losing the tops of things, so I try to put them back. Test, done. I love it. So, all done there. We've got lots of different tuck spots. I mean, what do you call that stuff? Photo mats. That can go in there. In our designer paper, we've got things that can go in there. Here we can put something. So what I'm going to do is I think I've been on for like 10 or 7 3 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break. If I have time today, I'll come back. I'll post it on the page and say I'm coming back. If I don't, then I will come back tomorrow and I'll record the process of me adding the paper to the album so that you can see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Let me just flip my camera here. Now I need to figure out how to do it. There we go. So, and then I will post a link or a notification. If you're not on my WhatsApp group and you've got a friend who is, ask them for my number and you can join my WhatsApp group because I will post on there when I go back live. I hate seeing myself on this big screen. It looks terrible. Gosh, can't I just get rid of this? Anyway, back to business. Um, yes, and so either later today or tomorrow, I'll make a plan. They say it's gonna rain a lot tomorrow, so I might as well do it tomorrow. If you're in Cape Town, you can be under the blankets and watch. And so, thank you very much for everybody who stayed with us for a full 3 hours. I really appreciate it. I didn't expect to be here for so long, but then again, yeah, who wants to make a mini album from scratch? But I thought I would cover all the basics, which I think is the basics with you guys. And this is a reference for you to come back to at any given point in time when you need to. What's that shadow? I'm seeing a shadow. When you need to come back to it, it can be a refresher. It can even be a refresher for me because sometimes I look at an album and I can't remember how I did it. So I sometimes have to refer back to my own videos because your brain works in a certain way while you are busy creating, and I don't always remember. So if you have not, I'm remembering to do this now, right? If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. If you have not given this video a thumbs up, please do. It gives the algorithm an idea that it's good content, that people love it, and so it will share with more people, and that way I can get more foot traffic on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend. And don't forget, find me on the NSD 2024 NSD page. I think it's called on Facebook. I'm class number 5. If you do attempt this album, post it in the album because that's the only way you're going to stand a chance of winning that little hamper. And that is it from me, ladies. Have a lovely Saturday further. Until next time, see you in cyberspace. Bye now. And how do I end this? I have no idea. I have no clue. Total nerd.